Today we're learning how to grow Swedes, otherwise known as rutabagas if you're living in the US. Swedes are a cool weather crop that are similar to turnips but with a bit of a sweeter taste. You can eat them cooked or raw, and even their early leaves can be a bit of a tasty treat. Whether you are roasting, steaming, boiling, or mashing them, they are a great source of fiber, high in antioxidants, and a great boost for the immune system. They are known to grow best when directly sown and then thinned to 6 to 8 inches apart once they reach a few inches high. However, I still prefer to sow them into seedling trays and then transplant out later so I can pick the strongest seedlings to plant into the ground. These little seedlings can be quite deceiving though. They initially don't look like they'll need that 6 to 8 inches. However, they quickly grow into a large leafy plant. Their foliage can grow up to a foot high, and their actual root ball can turn into the size of a grapefruit. So they definitely need that space to grow to their full potential. When planting them, make sure you're putting them into a nice sunny spot and into soil that is loose and drains well. Heavy soil can hold on to a lot of water, causing root rot, or it can just make it difficult for the root to actually expand to a nice size. Swedes are not an overly hungry plant, so you don't have to feed them with loads and loads of fertilizer. When I go to transplant my seedlings out, I just make sure I amend the bed first with some nice fresh compost and a little bit of blood and bone. If you do want to give them something more than that, in that first month or so of growing, you can give them a fertilizer that's high in nitrogen, and that will encourage their growth. But after that first month, you want to give them a fertilizer that is more equally balanced in NPK. If you give them too much nitrogen later on in their growing, you'll end up with these huge leafy plants with a small root, which none of us want that. Your plants will mature in 90 to 100 days and be at their best when their root ball is about 3 to 5 inches in diameter. Just make sure that when you're growing these plants, you're watering them constantly and consistently. So that means they should be getting at least an inch of water each week, and that will make sure that their root is nice and tender. If you do let them dry out a bit too much, it can cause their roots to actually split, or even worse, become fibrous. They are a cool weather crop, so plan to sow your seeds about 3 months before your first frost date. Or if you have mild winters like we do here, you can grow them throughout winter. And ideally, we'd want to have them hit with at least 1 or 2 frosts before we harvest them, because that really enhances the flavor. And a bit of a weird fact, Swedes were some of the first jack-o'-lanterns. Can you believe it? The Irish and the Scottish used to carve out these root vegetables before they were introduced to pumpkins in the Americas. How hard would that be? So when you're doing your harvesting in the autumn, I challenge you to carve out a Swede instead. And post your pictures in the comments. I want to see. But that's all you really need to know about sowing and growing Swedes. They're quite an easy crop to grow. Happy growing, and if you enjoyed watching this video, like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.